Hello and welcome to what is sort of my attempt at a short solo podcast thing I'll be doing every weekend, which is it's Monday now, but this was meant to go up on Sunday, but stuff happens, in which I talk about the weekly anime I watch. It's similar to the old podcast I used to do, just another anime podcast, except, well, at least for now, it's only me, and it'll be significantly shorter, and basically sum up my thoughts on shows. Basically, I'm just doing this so I don't have to do first impressions for every show at the start of the season and then forget to talk about them for the rest of the season. So, it's the winter season now, and I've been watching not too many, but a few shows so far, so I figured I would round them up here and talk about them, starting with Death Parade. Death Parade, which is sort of a sequel, sort of a... well, basically, there was a pilot OVA back in 2013 called Deaf Billiards by Madhouse, which I believe it was the same time Little Witch Academia came out, from the same... it was from Anime Mirai, the same thing. And it was a... people liked it. It was basically this, really. It's the same thing. Two people arrive at a bar and they had to play a game with their life at stakes. In Deaf Billiards, it was billiards pool, and in this first episode of Death Parade, it's darts. I didn't like it that much. It was okay. It wasn't great, but I felt it really suffers from, being a sequel to Deaf Billiards. Because Deaf Billiards, even though I didn't like it as much as some people did, it was better than this. It was better written, it had more... the mystery was more interesting. And maybe I would have liked it more if I didn't already know, the whole concept behind it, because it's really just a remake of the OVA with a different game. Even so, I could see it maybe being interesting if they change things up, but if they intend on it being the same sort of concept, but with different people and introducing more of the cast at the bar, I don't see it working, but I guess... time will tell, maybe. Really good OP though, very catchy and definitely different. Not what it felt a bit like the OP to what was that show from? I think it was 2 seasons ago. I can't remember the name now. It was Kokuri-san. Kokuri-san. That was it. It felt a bit like that OP. It was really catchy. I liked it. Next up is Kamisama Kiss 2, the second season of Kamisama Kiss, or Kamisama Hajime Mashita. I really liked the first season a lot. I talked about that and reviewed it during Just Another Anime podcast when that was a thing. And I've also been reading the manga, and I like it. This was not a good episode though. Not good at all. I get that you want to reintroduce us to the characters and such, and want to take it slow to basically, settle us down with the characters again for a new season. But I don't know, they just kept wasting time. Like, there was a bunch of moments where they just kept replaying the audio clips or scenes from the same episode in a way that just felt pointless and just wasting of time, like I said. Also, it was really not funny. Like, I don't know why, but anytime what's his name? Every time Otohiko was on screen, they for some reason felt the need to have Nanami make jokes about their gender, which I could have done without that. Once, fine, but it was like 7 times, and it's not funny. It was surprisingly pretty gay though, because even though it's a heterosexual romance shoujo manga thing between Nanami and Tomoe. I mean, the Tomoe and Mikage, or is it Mikage or Mikabe? It's one of the two. Their sort of past relationship is like very much a big focus of this episode, and Nanami and Ami, her classmate or schoolmate, I don't think they go to the same class, but I can't remember. I don't know, they were they got some really like Yuri-esque moments in here, for lack of a better word. So yeah, but not a good episode though. It was clunky. It was oddly paced. The reintroductions didn't work. But yeah, it could get good. It's coming to my kids, so I hope it gets good. At least, I don't know, it's still pretty to look at. The OP and ED, very, very nice art styles. But yeah, probably the worst thing I saw this week. Which to be fair, that's good. Could have been way worse. Next up is Can Call, or Kante Collection. Probably the most anticipated show this season. Big one. If you don't know what Can Call is, well, I shouldn't describe it because I don't play it, but it's an online browser game in Japan in which a bunch of warships from World War II are girls, and I assume you do things with them, send them on missions and stuff, and they level up or something. I don't know. I don't play it. I watched the anime though, and it was okay. I liked it. It was fun. It's basically a mixture of school life, slice of life thing, and well, I was gonna say magical girl boat action, because they really just go out. They have a transformation sequence. They go out and fight evil things, but they're technically using boat weapons, like warship arsenal and stuff, because each of them is a different warship. But I'm guessing the most common comparison is Strike Witches, which I haven't seen, unfortunately. I've read Strike Witches, but I don't know. Maybe I just don't see the comparison too much there, apart from girls being war machines. But yeah, I liked it. It was fun. The school life, slice of life bit was really good and really like laid back and nice. It felt sort of like Girlfriend Beta did, except not as pointless. I like Girlfriend Beta, but it's like the most pointless show ever. It does nothing with anything. But still, it was fun. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I can call. I don't know. I would like to play the game. Maybe I'll try playing it when the Vita version comes out. Kofuku Graffiti is the next one. I think this has a localized name that I didn't write down for some reason. I think it's Gourmet Girls Graffiti. It was okay. This is basically the big slice of life anime this season, and it's about girls, or at least one girl, who cooks a bunch of food, delicious looking gourmet food, and then she and other girls in this first episode, one girl, eat it, and that's sort of it. I mean, there's more to the overall atmosphere and nature of the show, but that's in a nutshell, it's girls and food. I was sold on it from my dear Annie Twitter friends as food lesbians, but I don't know. It starts off incredibly heterosexual, so I'm not sure that is that accurate. Although points to the episode, spoilers, it does end with like literally a girl asking another girl if she could be her wife in a sense. So fine, it does get a bit gay. But yeah, it was okay. And that's another show that could get really good, but I don't know, I didn't feel too much from it from this first episode. And I don't know. I get trying to make food eating erotic, and you can make food eating really erotic. They try here, and I don't know. I felt they sort of half succeeded, half failed in it. Like, some of it looked like really, really sexy, and some of it just looked, I don't know, odd. And they used the same eating scene twice in the episode without change. Although it's a good reason for it. It's technically sort of a flashback thing, and I don't know. It was okay. The Idolmaster, Cinderella Girls. Now this was really good. My history with Idolmaster is a bit on and off. I was really, really excited for Idolmaster when the first game on Xbox 360 came out. I wanted to import it, but it's, as far as I'm aware, it's not region free, so I never got around to it. But I would watch videos of it all the time, and I would read about it all the time. And that was basically the game that, even though I couldn't play it, took up my life for a bit back in 2007 or whenever it came out. I don't know when it came out. And of course, eventually there was an anime based on it, which was okay. It was okay. Like, it wasn't great. It had a pretty interesting first episode, direction-wise, and it did something cool with it, but it wasn't, I don't know. Like, it was good. It was a good anime, but it wasn't anything special, I suppose. And with the abundance of idol anime nowadays, you need to really be special to stand out. Like, you have Aikatsu, you have Love Live, you have, what was that one? Wake Up Girls, you have Go Go 575, you have Locodoll. I'm literally looking around my room to see if I have posters of any idol show I'm forgetting about. Prepara. Like, you have them everywhere, so you need to do something special with it. And that's where I was really worried about Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, that it wouldn't succeed at doing anything interesting, and it really does. It really does. This is a really good introduction to idols as a thing, actually. I mean, there's a lot of aspects of idol culture that's glorified, I would say, to an extent, and it's certainly not, like, it's you shouldn't watch Idolmaster Cinderella Girls to get education on idol culture, but if you are vaguely interested in idols but you don't know where to start, this is a pretty good episode, because this is a really good introduction episode, really, in general, because I don't know anything about Cinderella Girls, the game. I think that's the mobile game, because I fell out of Idolmaster a few years ago. So I don't know anything about the girls in this show, and I don't know anything about how it differs from their original Idolmaster. And I'm completely on board with it already. Like, they introduce... it seems like it's going to be 3 main characters, and they introduce 2 of them in this episode. And they give them both really good time for the viewer to, like, really get to know them, and to have them even in just one episode, grow a bit. Like, it was really nice. And then, of course, the talk of the town is the producer, which Idolmaster has had a few depictions of the producer, because in the game the producer is just faceless, genderless, an entity, the player, like, never ever specified. And then in the anime they went with that for the first episode for the original Idolmaster, and then gave him a body and stuff at the end of the episode, which I would have kind of preferred it not doing that, to be honest, but that was okay. And then there was Aima's, what was it called, Puchimas, I think, and then they went with just the producer being a giant P, like the letter P in a suit. Because of course in Japan you take your name and you put a P after it, that means you're a producer. Like you can see that with Yoshi P for Final Fantasy XIV, for example. Where was I? Oh, right. And the producer in Cinderella Girls is basically... I tried to find a way to describe him, and it's like, if you haven't seen him, it's basically like Nosaki-kun if he decided to first get into the Yakuza and then leave when he saw the worst stuff and become an idol producer. Like, this looks like a man who has seen some shit, who's been going through some awful things. He's tall, he's like got this dark voice, and he's hilarious. He's the highlight, which is weird because this show focuses on the girls, and the girls are really gay for each other. Like, I mean, we'll be talking about a Yuri show later. This was almost gayer at some point. There's just lots of lesbians in anime this season, which I'm cool with, so fine. Get more gay stuff in anime. Always get more gay stuff in anime. Get more gay stuff in everything. Anyway, back to Cinderella Girls. Really good. Really good. They're going to be introducing the third character next episode. They show her at the end of this episode. The first two characters are Rin and what's the other one's name? Usuki, I think, something like that. I think it's Usuko, maybe. And then there's Mio coming in next episode, and she, going by the 2 seconds she was in this episode, I have a big feeling she'll be my favorite, but we'll see. Next up is The Rolling Girls. This I was really worried about, because this is sort of the fan favorite this season, which you either love or you hate it, and if you hate it, you will get a billion people on Twitter yelling at you. So basically, it's the kill of the season. And I literally said that just because a bunch of people are comparing it to Kill la Kill, which I don't think is a very good comparison. So I just did that to mess with people, really. No, it's really good. It's really good. It reminds me a bit of Kyoso Giga in terms of tone and pacing, but in a linear fashion, whereas Kyoso Giga has jumped all over the place. It's very over the top, it's very, very colorful, it's very Japanese. And I mean that in a positive sense. I don't mean it in Japanese are so weird. Like some people. I mean it feels like something that Japanese culture would have spawned, and I like seeing that in anime a lot. It doesn't feel. It doesn't feel. What's the word? When something has been basically ruined by a distributor or a publisher, it doesn't feel market focused. No, target focused. Well, anyway, it doesn't feel focus tested. It doesn't feel focus tested. It feels like some people got the green light to do whatever they wanted, and this is what they did, and it's really fun. It's really good. It's about. Okay, how to explain this? Basically, Tokyo has been divided into several different nations, almost. Yes. And, well, the leaders of the nations, they fight. And the leaders of the nations are really, really badass girls who everyone seems to be riding motorcycles, which is why they're rolling girls. It's really, really cool. And it's like, it gets into some really, like, Super Sentai shit, and it's a blast to watch. It's also very gay. Like I said, it's a theme this season. It has probably one of the funniest scenes in anime in quite a while, where one of the main characters and one of the Aspos villains have an eating contest, and it's glorious. I really enjoyed my watch of Rolling Girls, and they're on a pretty good cliffhanger too. So I'm excited for next week, really, or this week I suppose, because I'm recording this a day later than I planned. Yeah, good. I liked it. So next up is Yurikuma Arashi, or Lesbian Bear Storm. This is the big Yuri show of the season, which is normally. That means this is the big show that no one will buy, and it will fade into obscurity. But this is also an Ikuhara show, so who knows? Basically, this is a project that... It's a collaboration between Ikuhara, the director of Utena, Revolutionary Girl Utena, and Penguin Drum, which I haven't seen Penguin Drum, so I don't know anything about that. As well as Morishima Akiko. Is it Akio? Okay, I am not good with names. I should probably... It's Akiko, yeah, it's Akiko Morishima. Who is a brilliant author and artist. She has written a bunch of great girls love manga based on her own experience, because she is an outspoken lesbian. and that's what made me really excited for Yurikuma. Now, Yurikuma is two projects, technically. It's a manga and an anime, and they're both completely different. Like, they're different stories. They share characters, but nothing else. And so far, I do prefer the manga, but I'll try to just not reference the manga because it's so different here. Yurikuma is good. I liked it. It's very it's at the same time it's like the most unsubtle thing in the world about what it's about, and at the same time it's super duper mysterious exactly what it's about, which is kind of interesting. Like, there's the obvious fact that it's a show about lesbians. Like, that part is pretty obvious. There's lily flowers everywhere. It has Yuri in the name, and it has two girls. It starts with two girls holding hands and talking about their secret love, basically, and it ends with two girls licking a lily flower that grew out of a naked girl's body. It's incredibly gay. Like, but that part we knew. We knew that part going in. That's why Morishi Makiko is part of this. And I suppose Ikuhara as well, because it's not like Ikuhara hasn't done stuff that's gay before. I just mentioned Utena. I should rewatch Utena. Anyway, but on the same time, the actual plot and stuff is a bit odd. Like, it's about how bears rose after a comet. Was it a comet? I think it was a comet called I don't remember now. It was a comet that exploded and rained down over Earth, and then bears became humans or something and began eating girls, which seems to be a euphemism for having sex with girls, except maybe not, because some of the girls seem to actually be eaten. So they started up humans created a wall to protect themselves from the bears, and they have a bear alarm, and I don't know, it's confusing, but at the same time it sort of makes sense. I will have to watch more episodes of it before I can tell if I'll really, really like it or not, but so far I am enjoying it. It's good. It's definitely not... like I said, I prefer the manga, and I would actually really have liked to see an anime adaptation of the manga, but that won't happen, so... Oh well. Can't win them all, and at least it's good, and that's what matters in the end. Everything can differ as long as it's good, and it was. The art style is really nice. It has a very different look to it. I did take error... Is that the word? I think so. Issue. I did take issue with it being a bit rapey at one point. Well, I say a bit rapey. It's super rapey at one point. If you read the lily flower petal licking... I guess it wasn't the petal, actually. But the lily flower licking as cunnilingus, which I think you're supposed to do, because that's sort of where everything is pointing. And in that case, well, they were having sex with an unconscious girl, and I get that the bears are predators and they eat the girls, and that's a bad thing, but I don't know. I don't know if it was meant to be as rapey as it was, because that did kind of... That did leave me feeling a bit odd, which the rest of the episode didn't. It was a very one-time thing, and I don't know. We'll see how the series progresses. Like I said, I liked it. Last off is not a new show, which is why I left it last, and that's Shirobako, episode 13, which is easily my favorite thing this week. Shirobako, if you don't know about it, it's a show about an anime studio, Musashi Animation, and their struggles making anime. And the first season, or the first half of the series, I should say, because this is just series 2 continuing from 2 weeks ago, was basically about... Oops, forgot to mute. First half of the series was basically about their brand new anime, Exodus, which was middle in the making, and them struggling to get it finished with the final episode in time and stuff like that. And it was really interesting. And now the second half is about them acquiring a brand new show and how starting that up works. And it's really interesting and really educational in a way, and it's just good. It's just really, really good. Obviously it's a bit glamorized, and it's a bit. It's still fiction and it's still anime, but as a semi-realistic slice of life-ish workplace anime, this is probably as good as they get. Like this could have easily been in my top 5 best anime of last year, which I just realized is not a list I have made public, but whatever. If it had finished last year, because I keep my list to ended shows. And if this ends up being high on the list at the end of this year, I'm fine with that, because this is gold. Like, this is really, really good, and this episode was just superb. And if you don't watch Shirobako yet, please watch it. I think anyone interested in anime should watch Shirobako, just because it gives you such an interesting insight in the industry, even if it's fiction, even if it's not entirely realistic. The little things you learn from it is just interesting, and little touches of references to real life people. A few weeks ago we had Anno we had Kano, but we had Anno. Actually, they can't use Neon Genesis Evangelion. They call it like Neo Generation Evangelion or something, and it was that was silly. And they had Kano be a fan of Yamato, because we know Anno is a big fan of Yamato, and that was cool. I really like that. And with that, I suppose that's the anime I've watched this weekend. I haven't had time to catch up on JoJo yet, and there's a few other shows I want to try out, but I just didn't have time yet, because the new season, the new week is starting, and I want to get to the new episode of Yurikuma and Can Call. But yeah, thank you for listening. I have no idea if this was good or not, because I've not done anime podcasts in almost a year, and I'm solo now. I've never done a solo podcast before. I don't know, maybe this was interesting, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. At least it was short, and it was nice to do something short for once. Thank you for listening. I won't pull it up. Ending.